What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on these OKC Thunders, right? And they, as you all know, they've been very dominant this year, and they blowing teams out, man. I mean, most of their games are not even close. As a matter of fact, the game beating people so bad that like people are saying that the OKC Thunder are bad for basketball, which I disagree. They was like their team is so dominant that they bad for basketball. But in my opinion, I think they're good for basketball because that sets the rest of the league on notice, right? That you got to step your game up. If you want to be OKC, you got to step your game up. They play tough at both ends of the court. They are very efficient on offense and they stingy on defense. So in order for you to beat OKC, you're going to have to step your game up. Some people expected OKC to have like a letdown, right? Because of the championship they won last year. And, a lot of times, these teams have hangovers and they go into that off season not really working as hard. But this team reminds me of like back in the day with Chicago, right? Chicago, like they used to say that Chicago in the preseason looked like they was in regular season form. And then when regular season started, they looked like they was in playoff form. And then when the playoffs started, they looked like they was in championship form. So they was always one step ahead of their of everybody else. And that's what this OKC team remind me of. They just like, this is regular season. They look like they in every game to them, it seems like it's a playoff game. And they coming out there focused and just demolishing all the competition, right? And so I was listening to Brendan Haywood on a new podcast that he has with Rick Bucher, and he has some things to say about OKC, calling them historically great. He wanted to compare them to the Golden State Warriors, like the Golden State Warriors after they had won their championship and was on a run. He says, in his opinion, that they are even more impressive than that team, right? So let me say, before we even get into listening to what Brendan Haywood had to say, I just think that this OKC team, I think that it's going to be tough. I like Houston. I think Houston so far, that's the only team I see in the West. The only team I see in the West that'll be able to match up with them at both ends of the court because they have scoring, and they have somebody in Kevin Durant who can hit the tough baskets when they need it. Then they can match up with them on a defensive end because they have length and athleticism. So I think Houston will be tough for them. I don't know about Denver. It depends on if Denver have everybody healthy at the same time. If Denver will be, but this OKC team is dominant in the way they built. Like they don't have any weaknesses. From 1 to 10, not 5. They don't have any weakness. Excuse me. They don't have any weaknesses on this team from 1 to 10. So you gotta have a team you gotta have a deep team, and you gotta have a team that plays defense, tough defense, and can score. So let's get to listen to Brendan Haywood, him and Rick Bucher. And what I want to do is listen to them and give my comments.
I'm gonna switch subjects, but I wanted to catch you off guard with. I wanted to catch you off guard with this one because I was watching a game last night, and I thought this to myself, and I wanted to catch you live and see what your reaction is. I wanted to look you in your eyeballs.
Yeah.
I'm watching OKC. Me and my son are watching OKC play, and this got to be about the 10th time this year we started watching the basketball game with OKC. And we have turned it off by halftime and started watching something else because they are dog walking somebody, dog walking them.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, man, can this version of OKC, can they catch the Golden State Warriors? Can they be better than that team? I'm here to tell you right now, they are way better than the Golden State Warriors team. That Golden State Warriors team that won, what was it, 73 games?
Wait a minute. So the 73-9 team,
yes,
they're way better than that team.
Yes.
Are they way better than the KD teams?
Yes.
Wow.
That's why now the better than the Kevin Durant team. I gotta really think about that, but that is a lot. That's a lot, man. Because that Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, man, that's a lot. But if you think about it, how deep this OKC team is, and like I said, 1 through 10, everybody score, everybody play defense. Even the leader on the team played defense. Steph Curry, he's gotten better at defense, but he's not like Shea Gilgeous on defense. So that's a strong statement. And the more I think about it, the more I agree.
I'm gonna tell you why. I knew you were gonna go there. I'm gonna tell you why. Not because they have more talent than the Golden State team with KD. They have a different mentality. I want you to go back in time to that Golden State team that I think you were covering.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not every game, but a lot of their games, that team was not hungry, was not motivated. They would walk in down 15-17 to teams like the Charlotte Hornets, and then they would turn it on in the third quarter and blow their doors off. Those teams would almost have to get down by double digits to become engaged. This version of OKC is engaged from the tip, right from the jump. And then when one guy subs out, there's another guy coming in and he's engaged. Everybody's engaged offensively. Everybody's engaged defensively. Defense, it is wing defender after wing defender after wing defender.
And remember when Golden State was on their run, and that's the truth. The third quarter they were known for really locking in the third quarter and just running, you know what I mean? Just running people off the court. This team right here comes in from the door, like Brendan Haywood says, and that's why I say they remind me of the Bulls. Now the Bulls used to come in from the door and dog you, but then also that third quarter when after Phil Jackson make his for the Chicago Bulls, he used to make adjustments and stuff like that. They would really come out in that third quarter. That was really important to them, right? But this team, for them to be a young team, and you talking about Michael Jordan in his championship years, you talking about a guy, Michael Jordan led the team, but he was it started in his 7th year, but this is a young team, man, and they are locked in from the door. So
defender, it's like I'm watching them pressure the ball. And even their best player defends. Like this version of OKC is the hungriest team I have ever seen after a championship. Go look at like when Denver won a championship the next year, we champion. Boston last year, we'll play when we want to. We just talked about the Golden State team, though. Like, we'll turn it on when we. This team from the jump, they have dealt with injury, still been better than everybody else. They have been implementing young players into the lineup, still been better than everybody else. Their second best player didn't play for the first however many games of the season, still better than everybody else.
I contribute that to leadership and coaching too, though, right? When you can get some young guys to buy into a system, like not just your leader, but you got it seems like everybody is buying into this system. All the players, like if you are the starting 5, I can see you buying into the system. If you the 6th man, the 7th man, I can see you buying into the system, right? Because you know that other teams are watching and you may be able to go somewhere else and get paid. But you got guys, you got 8, 9, and 10. Like everybody is bought in and everybody had the same mindset. That's scary for the rest of the league. And like I said earlier in the podcast, right, in this broadcast, some people think that this is not good for basketball, for them to be blowing people out. They look so much more dominant than everybody else. I think it's great for basketball because it puts the rest of the league on notice that you're gonna have to step your game up, or we're gonna blow the doors off. You know what I mean? So I think I like this style of play. This reminds me of back in the old school when guys used to use that mid-range. They move without the ball. They play both sides of the ball, man. This old school, this is great basketball to watch.
This version of Golden State is a level of aggression and intensity that I have not seen from a championship level team in a long time. I'm talking about a repeat level. Most of the time with repeat champions, they get bored with the regular season. And they just playing to get through it, to get to the playoffs so they can defend their title.
See, and that's why I had to go back even to the Chicago Bulls, right? Because the old school Celtics with Larry Bird and them, they used to do that. You know, they used to be focused. You know, and those guys play 82 games, but that's mental toughness. Like, you want to every game be focused. Then the Lakers was like that. Detroit Pistons, the old school Pistons was like that. Those guys didn't play for you know, we trying to stay healthy to get into the playoffs, and then we're gonna turn it up. They believe that, you know, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, right? And so that's why I like playing watching these guys play, because it just put the rest of the league on notice. Either step up or you're going to get your doors blown off you, right? And so Brendan Haywood's take on OKC, I thought was right on point. And so that's all I got. You know what I mean? Basically, this is what I wanted to hear him talk about and say. But yeah, man, y'all got to check them out. If, like I said, I really want to see OKC in the finals with Detroit. You know, Detroit played that tough, bad boy type defense, man. I want to see Detroit and OKC, in the finals. But that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.